1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to our first episode of our podcast. I'm Ricky.
And I'm Brittany.
And we are
Paper Screen. So, we're Paper Screen, and we are two friends who met in film school over a decade ago.
I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. Time is trippy.
And look where we are now. We went from
Oh my god.
growing up in Minnesota.
Growing up in fucking depressing Minnesota.
And
Sorry,
then-
JK, it's beautiful.
And then moving to Sunnyside, California.
Los Angeles. We never
Yeah.
feel FOMO.
We never feel FOMO.
Yeah, you know what I mean, though. I feel like when you're in the Midwest, no? Whatever, that's how I was just like, get me out of here. And I will say it's because of personal reasons and because of my love of cinema and stuff. The Midwest isn't for everyone.
I could not do the cold anymore.
Mm-mm.
And there's people out there that love the winter.
Right.
But it's not for me, and I never adapted to that. So
Yes.
I moved out here because of cinema as well, and I continue to do that. I was doing that in Minnesota before moving here, and moved to LA to continue pursuing that where there's more creative minds like me, and here I am. So we're here in LA now.
So we wanted to make this podcast because we love talking about cinema. We love cinema, and I think it's a good way to keep that relationship with cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we care, and it's nice to have the outlet to talk about. I know that I have had a hard time finding podcasts that talk about movies in the way that I would like them to be talked about. Yeah, our goal here is just to it's gonna keep us actively watching movies and going to movies, which is really important. If you're listening and you haven't gone back to the movie theater, please do.
Yeah, please support the arts.
Really, for real,
Even
you're
cinema,
theater.
theater.
Streaming at home fucking sucks. Get your feet on the ground. Go see it on the big screen. That's an experience.
Yeah, because we come to this place for magic.
Somehow heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
So, Brittany, what have you been up to? What have you been watching and reading?
So I'm still reading It by Your Majesty Stephen King. It's okay, so I first saw the original It, the made-for-TV movie, the 2 parts, when I was very young, kindergarten, very young. Shouldn't have watched it.
Right.
But it is what formed my fears.
Mm.
Because I was afraid of clowns growing up, and I was afraid of spiders. I'm not as much afraid of clowns anymore. I'm more ew, that is such a gnarly look. It's just so, harsh.
Right.
The look of a clown. Okay, so I'm reading It, and I'm probably going to start this other book called The Japanese Murder House.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's about?
I don't. I like to not know what things are about because it's just such a better experience to go in blind.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm picking a book, though, I will just skim it to see what the writing style is.
Mm-hmm.
Because books that are written very sophisticated or a little too flowery, something like that kind of stuff, I'm it's really disengaging for me. It's boring.
Yeah.
It's tiring. So that's all I do. And then with movies, it's let me see the poster. Let me know who's in it. I'll watch maybe a teaser unless it's something that I'm looking forward to. Then I would prefer not to. What's new with you? What are you doing?
Well, I finished watching Dahmer on Netflix, which was really heavy. Being gay, Lao, American, that's something something deep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very dark and haunting to watch that show because you feel some type of connection to that event because Jeffrey Dahmer kind of his victims were all black and brown people in the gay community specifically.
Right.
And the fact that one of the victims was Lao, that it really hits me.
Midwest.
Let's see, what else am I watching / reading? I am reading Bathhouse that you got me for my birthday, which was back in July, and it's a fun gay thriller. Yeah. But anyways, should we talk about like our first episode and like introduce like our topic?
Yeah, absolutely. So on our first episode, we're going to talk about the biggest movie of the summer. Nope, by Jordan Peele. I'm sure you've seen it. If you haven't, save this episode for later. Nope was my favorite movie this year, and we're really excited to talk about it and just share our thoughts and why we loved it, theories, themes, all that good stuff.
What did you see?
It was big.
How big?
Big.
What did it look like?
I don't know. It was fast. Too fast. Too quiet to be a plane.
OJ, are you saying what I think you're saying?
So here's a little synopsis about Nope. It's two siblings running a horse ranch in California, and they discover something wonderful and sinister in the skies above, while the owner of an adjacent theme park tries to profit from the mysterious, otherworldly phenomenon. And I stole this from IMDb, so I do not take credit for that. It's starring Keke Palmer. Love her.
She's amazing. You'd be familiar with her if you've watched the Today Show or Scream Queens. Or if you follow her on Instagram, she's really funny.
And let's not forget, she was also Aquila and the Bee.
That was her?
Yes.
Shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Oh my God. I didn't know that. I mean, I haven't watched that in a really long time, but damn. Okay, so Daniel Kaluuya.
Who we know from Get Out and
Black Panther.
And then we got Steven Yeun. As
Cutie.
we know as Glenn from The Walking Dead. He was also in Minari, which is a really great movie, and you should check it out. But yeah, and then Brandon Perea. Oh, he plays Angel.
Yeah,
he's
cutie patootie.
Half Puerto Rican, half Filipino. And he was in the OA.
He was in the OA, which 2 seasons on Netflix. Immediately watch it if you've not. It's one of the best shows I've ever seen.
And then we got Kat from Euphoria, who was in it for like 15 seconds.
She is our...
Or 5
She's
minutes.
like a Brazilian Instagram, like an influencer or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, I thought so. I think that's like her... I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's her story. And then she like kind of... I don't know if she was like acting growing up or anything, but yeah, I think that's like more a recent thing. And she's going to be exiting Euphoria.
But that's good for her because, she deserves better.
Her character really got...
Yeah. I mean, we'll save that topic for another day.
Yeah, okay.
But with this movie, too, we'll probably get into a little bit more about what happened with her character. Because I think she had more.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. Back to the cast and crew, though. This movie was written and directed by the master himself, Jordan Peele.
Yep.
I think that Jordan Peele has changed this genre in a lot of ways.
He's given it new life.
Yeah. Like adding social commentary to the genre, like...
in like a much consistent... like fluent way, because I would argue that there's been some Freddy Krueger movies that had social commentary and stuff, but
Freddy Krueger,
maybe. Anyway, okay, whatever. So this is also the third theatrical release for Jordan Peele. He also has gone on to, did he direct or just write or produce The Twilight Zone?
For the most part, he like produced Twilight Zone, and I think that's when him and Steven Yeun work together.
Okay.
Let's talk about like our movie experience, like
seeing it.
What were your thoughts like seeing it for the first time? Because I know my thoughts because one, the movie was like spoiled for me.
That sucks.
I know, and I was trying to avoid all of the spoilers, but
little old me couldn't
I couldn't keep my eyes off the spectacle.
Did you see it opening night?
No, actually, it came out like around my birthday, so I was like not in town. I was in Catalina Island, so I had to wait like a week for me to finally see it. But anyways, like even like after seeing like all these spoilers on TikTok, I went in like with an open mind, like, you know, because the movie is probably gonna have like social commentary, and like Jordan Peele always has like something to say. Yeah, like a lot of people were saying that it was really good, and I couldn't wait anymore, so I went to go see it by myself. And yeah, I didn't know what to expect, and I definitely was prepared for something else. And you know, I remember from the marketing, it kind of made it look like it was gonna be like the next Signs. I really enjoyed it. It's not like a confusing movie. And some people, like, I remember hearing like YouTubers saying like, I don't know what the hell I just watched.
Ugh, so dumb. I'm sorry, but like, what? One thing I don't think we mentioned was Jordan Peele was also one of the stars and I believe writers of Key and Peele.
Yeah.
Or Keegan. I saw him at the movie theater.
What?
I didn't tell you this.
When you saw Nope?
No, it was when I saw that new Toy Story.
4?
Yeah, the one that, so he was standing in line to get something, and it was weird. My reaction was I like wanted to like hug him, but I wanted to hug him in like as if he were like a caretaker, like he was like a father. I don't know why, because I had only watched him in, you know, their like comedic shorts.
Yeah.
And then the show called Friends from College, which is great. Another one that
you like that show?
I did like it. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
I liked it.
I felt like the characters like really pissed me off.
I mean, it's really whatever. We're not going to talk about that show, but okay. But I don't know. My whole point is like I don't know why I had that reaction, but I saw him and I just felt really like comforted. I don't know. It was weird, but I didn't bother him because I wouldn't, you know.
Because he's a funny guy.
Can you imagine if I walked up to him and like just hugged him? And I think he was there with his mom.
Oh.
And his.
They went to see Toy Story 4 together.
No, I don't know if they were in my movie. They were just like in concessions.
Oh, funny.
But yeah, I think that's like really important to say. Peele is also like a, you know, an actor and has had like a really, really strong career in comedy.
Yeah. I will never forget Megan.
Dude, my favorite's when they pitch Gremlins.
I've never seen that one.
Oh my, dude, it's oh my god, it's
I'll
one
have
of the
to watch
funniest.
it later.
Yeah. Oh man.
So what were your thoughts?
So I was super excited to see it because I have really enjoyed all of Peele's movies. One of the things I like about them, especially Us, is that like, and with Us, I never saw a trailer. I never saw one trailer for Us. Oh. Only the poster. So I really didn't know what I was seeing when I saw that. And it was so like, you know, it's like to me, unpredictable, a fresh, new like story and all that shit. And then yeah, there's like a lot of like social commentary and like interesting like Easter eggs and stuff. So I was super excited for Nope because one of my modern fears, you know, I was saying I was afraid of spiders and clowns. So I've been afraid of aliens since I was a teen, especially because of Signs. I saw Signs. I did not sleep. I couldn't look outside at night. Like to this day, I don't like sleeping in farmhouses or anything like out in the middle of nowhere. But so Nope, but like I like that. Like I like being afraid of that, and like I find aliens super fascinating. I loved World of Worlds too. Like that one's like I can't. That one's like fucking terrifying if it really happened. Signs feels possible. Sign feels really real.
It's like War of the Worlds in a smaller scale because it's like a small town. And like secluded town where there's nothing but cornfields. Yep. And there's a lot of mystery with like crop circles and stuff.
Right.
And it's fascinating.
I mean, like you see that leg.
Yeah. Signs like feels like watching like unsolved mysteries. Yes. Like it kind of, that's what it reminded me of. Like, and like the depiction of like the aliens in that movie, like it just felt
the basement
real.
Scene,
the hand. I was like you. I was like scared of that movie, but
Anyway, so yeah, that was my for Nope. It was like I had heard the theories that it's not of this planet Earth, and you know, a lot of friends would be like, "So do you think it's aliens?" And I was like, I mean, maybe, but like I don't know. I don't know, and I don't know. I never know what the fuck Jordan Peele's gonna like give us, and I'm trying to avoid shit. So stop saying, stop trying to tell me if it's about aliens. But I was super excited, very excited, and I went. I don't know if it was opening night or the day. It might have been the day after opening.
I think you told me that you went like day after opening, like in the morning, because you had to fly to Minnesota.
Because I had a flight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to like a 10 a.m. showing.
Dang. Yeah, you texted me. Nope. It's so good.
Like in all caps.
Yeah, and I'm like, bitch, I'm like on a boat to Catalina Island right now.
You're like, don't text me.
On my birthday.
Happy birthday. Yeah, and then so I went to the movie again, not knowing a whole lot of what, and I completely avoided reviews or anything. Completely avoided all that. And I loved it.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't stop thinking about it.
I loved it too, even though like it was spoiled for me. Like it's a fantastic movie. Like wonderful ensemble and like the cinematography too.
Oh God, yeah.
And the fact that like all those night scenes were like shot day for night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to describe it.
Okay, so you shoot like you adjust the light and then you're shooting with like regular daytime, right? And then when you're grading it, which is like color correcting, doing all that stuff, you make it more cool, which makes it look kind of like it does at night. But you can't really shoot anything at night because cameras are very sensitive to light, and if you don't have enough light, it's going to look like noisy or grainy and like look like shit. And like people aren't going to look good.
It would be like super expensive to like shoot everything at night because like to light that whole area would have been expensive.
Right.
I mean, and I don't know if, because there's like some parts where they show the house and like the lights are on.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that that's all a studio set too, right? The house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the movie opens with a Old Testament biblical quote, which is, "I will cast abominable filth upon you, make you vile, and make you a spectacle." So, and then the movie opens with this very like mysterious sitcom. You hear a chimpanzee scream, and you can assume something hectic is happening. You just get a little. All you hear is like the like you hear one chimpanzee scream. You hear the balloon pop, and then that. And I think you hear like the live studio audience. But like there's enough to where it's some sort of sitcom, family sitcom, and the chimpanzee goes
ape shit,
quite literally. Anyway, yeah. So, and there's something about that, like it opening. Okay, so it opens with this. I mean, in the Old Testament, if you've never read it, that shit is dark.
Right.
Anyway, whatever. Overall, like especially Western society and everything, it's like a big, like that's what a lot of people follow as the origin, right? And so they open a movie on like this quote coming from like a godly position that's like, I will, da 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 da. So it already starts with like there is a hierarchy. Yeah, and then we get that scene with Gordy. Yeah. We don't see that whole scene yet though. And then we jump to the ranch. When we first get introduced to the family, it's OJ and his father, and you right off the bat get the impression that OJ just like he keeps his head down and he works. Right. Like he's like
he's just working because it's like the family business or whatever.
It's like all he knows.
Yeah.
Like, and he'll and his dad is obviously like the one like leading the ship. And his dad's on Ghost, the white horse, and OJ's like walking away, and that's when he realizes there's things falling from the sky.
Yeah.
Little pieces of like metal. It's like, what's going on? You know, like what is all what?
Yeah.
His phone won't turn on. The item in the sky, the mysterious figure. We'll call Jean Jacket because that's what its eventual name is, given by OJ. Often when it goes by, a lot of unheard types of sounds are coming from it, like sounds that later we kind of realize it's like screams and whatnot, but it just makes a lot of strange sounds. So yeah, there's a strange sound. It's like raining little tiny pieces of metal around you, and you're like, what the hell? And your phone's not turning on. You turn around, your dad's slumped over on the horse. He's like,
yeah.
Oh. So yeah, and then basically they kills dad, like right away.
After that, we get an introduction to Keke.
We're on set. It says like 6 months later, or we're told it's been 6 months by one of the set people. So their family business is they're horse trainers, and they're the like first and maybe only horse trainers that are black in Hollywood and everything. So it's his family business. It's been the family business for like 3 or 4 generations or something. And so now OJ's running it. Yeah. And the impression we got of him before is like he's not like a people person.
Right.
He's not an
kind
extrovert.
Of he's an introvert. He like
right
or whatever. Social anxiety. And the third
time around was like just like really noticing who OJ was. And there's a lot of scenes where he eventually kind of has to step into the role of his father and be the one leading the ship, making like being the leader, making the decisions.
Right.
They're all working as a unit, but he does have to kind of take that role, and he's naturally good at it because he is a horse trainer. And I don't know if you noticed this, but like when he's trying to get Angel and what's Keke's name?
Emerald,
right. When he wants them to come out of the house and to the Fry's van, he's hitting his leg and going, come on. Like as if he's talking to horses.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so he's, that's what he knows. That's like his, and it ends up being a blessing because so much of what he knows and his training is what is able to equip them in their, grand plan of getting this Oprah shot.
Exactly.
You set it up at least the right way. I'm talking rich and famous for life. How you doing? You look pretty. It's like she got a big house. How we put it out? Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't just go for the quick cash in, okay? We go to the most credible platform to do the story.
What's that, like Oprah?
Yeah, like Oprah, for example. After that, everybody want in.
Well, I'm saying there's plenty of videos of flying online. I saw one the other day that wasn't on Oprah.
I didn't say Oprah. You said Oprah. You love Oprah. Like, all I'm saying is all that online is fake, low quality. Ain't nobody gonna get what we gonna get.
What we gonna get?
The shot.
What shot?
The shot. The money shot. Undeniable, singular, the Oprah shot.
The Oprah shot?
I will say, nope. It's literally my favorite movie because it's so good. There's so many amazing things about the movie, and I would say if you have not seen it, turn this off and watch it because you will not regret watching that movie. It's a big movie, big screen, and you're watching the sky. Like you should be watching that on a big screen. That's not something you watch. So yeah, I highly recommend you see it in the theater. If not theater, then I don't know, big ass TV.
Yeah. Okay, so the title of the movie, Nope. Love the acronym, not of planet Earth, even though Jordan Peele obviously did not come up with it.
He is claiming he's claiming he has, but if you see those interviews where Keke asks him if he knew about it, he's like, yeah, of course I did. But he says it in such a way that's like, no, you did not.
Yeah.
You know? And his whole reason for calling it Nope was like that, when something like fucked up or weird or scary is like around or whatever, Black people say, nope.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
But no, I remember like when they released the poster for Nope, people on Reddit were already like figuring out like what this was about.
Right.
Or they just made up that acronym and then it just became the thing.
Yeah, and actually, we never find out if Jean Jacket is from planet Earth or not. We are never told.
Yeah.
So, I mean, technically, Jean Jacket could be an undiscovered aerial
or
animal.
Just, yeah.
I mean, we haven't explored most of the ocean.
Like, we don't know much about the sky either. Or, like,
That's
outer
true.
space.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And that has a lot to... that actually goes into a really big point that I think Nope makes. And, like, one of the big takeaways I got was... So if you break everything down to just the event of Gordy, they're working with children and adults for a sitcom for entertainment, for recognition, whatever reasons. And they have a chimpanzee on stage, I believe dressed, right?
Yes.
Wearing clothes. And when Gordy hears a loud sound, everything that he should do happens. But it's something that is a tragedy to the humans, and that's because we fail to understand our role and where we fit on this earth. We think we're the top dogs. We think we can do it all. So when a chimpanzee, it's like, oh my God, and then this horrible thing happened, and da-da-da-da. And it's like, that's exact. You put kids and people on stage with a chimpanzee.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but... Right. What do you expect to happen? Gordy basically beats the shit out of everyone, rips off the little girl's face, from what we can tell. Yeah, I mean, he like we said, he quite literally goes apeshit. Because he's scared. Yeah. He's fucking scared. So chimpanzees, their muscle, on average, is 1.5 times more powerful than a human in pulling and jumping, right? Like, if you think about it, his muscle's much more dense, and their body holds less fat. So, I mean, this is like, I don't know, having like a professional weightlifter get mad and start whatever because they believe their lives are in danger. Yeah. And that's a bit, and that so that alone, that message, that also ties into the behavior of Jean Jacket. Right? So when Jean Jacket is like marking their territory on the house. Oh yeah. Which is like one of the most like...
That's like the best. That's like my favorite scene. Well, aside from like when Jean Jacket like sucks all the people up. And then like...
Aside from
literally like seeing them being digested.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's like my favorite scene.
Yeah. It's so horrifying.
I know. And like, I don't remember what that thing was when like we see it for like a split second.
I don't know, and every time I have watched it, I try to see.
I know.
3 times, which is not a lot, but I try, and I tried Googling it, so I don't know if it's nothing and we think it's something, or maybe it's the fake horse.
That's what someone else was saying, like it was either a horse or a fake horse.
Right.
I also thought it was like maybe like one of the kids that had the alien mouse thing.
Oh yeah,
because it kind of looks like that for a second.
Yeah. Lady. They're being squeezed to death.
I know.
Like, whew, terrifying.
And you can just hear like the squeaking noise because it sounds like a fucking balloon, basically.
Right.
Yeah, the sound design is really good.
Oh yeah, the sound design's amazing. I mean, like, everything as far as the technical aspects of the film is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I do think that the way they did their day for night is like, it's the best I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, the best I've seen. The only thing I would compare it to is maybe some scenes that Roger Deakins has shot, but not all. The Village, I think his night scenes are gorgeous. I mean, it's a little bit different because he's like mostly using like candlelight and stuff, but I mean, it's a little different. But he's the only person that I would really compare.
Yeah.
As far as cinematographers go. But yeah, I mean, like I think this movie really talks about, like you said, if you want to get into it, but clout, and a lot of what clout is ties into our egos.
Yep. From watching the trailer and like, no, the reason why I assumed this movie was going to be about like fame and clout chasing is because like you see a lot of like scenes where it's like taking place on like a movie set And like the fact that like they own like this horse ranch, they like train these horses to be on movies, basically. And it all kind of ties to the entertainment business, especially like when the TMZ guy like shows up like trying to film. They heard about like, you know, what happened on the theme park.
They want the scoop.
Yeah, exactly. And then the fact that like Emerald and OJ and Angel, they're all like trying to like capture this.
Yeah, I actually heard Angel is sort of like the guardian angel in the film.
He's the guardian angel.
Yeah, because he's the one in charge of all the cameras. He's looking, right? He's tapped in watching their cameras when he's at work. He's not supposed to be, but he is. And it turns out he's like, he's like doing it out of concern, obviously interest and curiosity. But and then he goes out there and he becomes a part of this little crew.
Yeah. Which was interesting because I was like, why are you spying on these people? This is like kind of...
Because when they were buying those things, he like right away made a comment like, you know, unless you're in like some...
was this before the UAP discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
Because so when they're buying the stuff, he's like, I think they asked something like, are these cameras going to work if the power goes out? And he's like, yeah, they have like battery backup power or something like that.
Right.
And then OJ says there could be a blackout where your cell phones don't work because he knows that that's what happens. And then Angel's like, that's not how electronics work. Like that could, he's like, unless, you know, you're like, I don't know, like an alien UFO area. And then they don't say anything. And it's like, oh shit, are you? And then when he goes out to install the cameras, he's trying to like poke around and he's, you know, whatever. So I think I don't blame, he's also going through a breakup.
Yeah.
So like, I don't totally blame him.
Because she's an actress.
Yeah, she went to take a show with the CW.
Yeah. Part of the spectacle theme.
Mm-hmm.
People leaving people for clout.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the clout thing though. Like the fact that like Jean Jacket like is hiding in the clouds.
I mean, I think a lot of what Jean Jacket does, like hiding in the clouds,
the cloud that doesn't move.
Right, turning off or stopping radio frequency or whatever, that explains UFOs. It explains why we aren't seeing them, why we never see them. How come we sometimes see them, but you know. It explains why our footage in our real world outside of this movie is always shitty. You know, like I think that was like those little things really like gave explanation.
Yeah. Let's talk about the other metaphors.
One that I would say ties into clout chasing and fame is, you know, they're talking about like you want to get the Oprah shot, and then when the DP that they end up hiring, he talks about like this kind of chase for that like magical thing, right? Like he even like when they have the damn footage of Jean Jacket and he's like, oh, but the light like magic hours coming, it's gonna be so like he's like, I gotta do it again because I really gotta, you know, it's gonna be better lighting and stuff. And we had also seen him watching a lot of tapes of like prey being, you know, like tigers attacking. So yeah, there's a lot of like dominance.
Yeah.
And like winning, like wanting to be the best, wanting to do it, wanting to have it. And that I think fits into obviously fame. Yeah. I mean, and that's kind of a thing too, is like people will do anything for fame. Mm-hmm. They will. And this is what's, I mean, if you really break it down, most people will fail. Ultimately, in Hollywood, most people will, and Jean Jacket is kind of symbolic to that because she, I don't know, they them. Jean Jacket sucks you up, squeezes the life out of you, and spits you out.
Because that's exactly what Hollywood will do.
Right. Jean Jackets looks different from on the outside from what it really is.
Ooh. Segue to the design of Jean Jacket. Like, what were your thoughts?
The first viewing, I really liked it, especially the idea of a UFO actually being an animal, right? Whether it's from Earth or from another planet or whatever, is so simple but so like brilliant. Yeah. That still makes it scary. That still makes it mysterious. It still gives it a lot of power, right? But so the design of Jean Jacket, like, okay, it's like a clam kind of shape or whatever.
Is it a clam?
It's like that type of shape, like a shell. like a clamshell.
I guess.
Whatever,
Yeah.
like a disc, whatever you want to say. And then when Jean Jacket goes to their full form, it looks heavenly. It looks like an angel, like a balloon.
It looks like a balloon.
Yeah, it's like drapey. The thing about that was, so there's the scene where Gordy goes to fist pump Jupe when he's a little boy after being attacked. And Jupe thinks it's this profound moment of like Gordy choosing me.
Yeah.
Like he's choosing me. And what actually is happening is like there's a blanket between their eyes. So they're not really looking directly at each other's eyes.
Yeah.
So he's not actually threatening. The way they shot that image to me looks a lot like, I think it was Michelangelo.
Oh.
Michelangelo's Adam and God hands. To me, that's what I thought of.
Oh, yeah.
Like it looks like that. And then the drapiness, God is like on a weird cloudy drape in that painting too. And with the Old Testament in the beginning, again, not sure if that's intentional, but those are the things I thought about. And then there's this whole line and thing in the movie about bad miracles.
That's true.
And that's kind of what Jupe has really built a lot of his identity from that incident. And it was, the incident wasn't anything, but he conceptualized it as
taking his trauma basically and putting it through this like theme park.
Right. So with Jupe, we do see one scene where, I mean, he's got posters of his childhood. He's got this secret room, like of novelty, like a lot of it for Gordy. He's even got the shoe that he was like fixated on during the event. The shoe that just stood up on its own.
And it's like literally standing up in this glass that he kept it in.
Yeah, and he's got like little lights on it. Imagine like being the person who wore that shoe and you're like, you're keeping that? There's like a drop of blood on it. But we see a scene later on in the movie because he acts all like, you know, hunky-dory, like everything's great. I got this great family, I got this theme park, I worked, you know, and he, instead of like telling the actual story of the show, he tells how SNL did a skit, and it's like a real skit that they did with Chris Kattan being it's not the same as the Gordy scene, but we do see a scene when we finally find out the real scene. It is when Jupe is having a flashback, and what that looks like is a person is completely zoned out. Yeah. And they kind of like emotionless, just kind of, and it's because they're like reliving this thing in their head.
He is.
Yes, he is. And then his like wife comes up and she's like, "Oh, you all ready for
our
fucking
show? Yeah.
Like, let's practice again." And he practices. And then what did you think about?
Oh man. Okay, this scene was one of the scenes that was spoiled.
That is so annoying.
That was spoiled on TikTok for me. But I didn't know that it was like a show that was like brand new. When that happened, I was like, these people are not ready. They were like, what the fuck
I'd be
going
so
on?
pissed. If you invited me to something and you didn't tell me it's going to be like an alien reveal, I'd be so fucking pissed. You know? No, this dude is going to feed this horse to a fucking...
Yeah. And the thing is that like Jupe, he thinks that like he can control animals, and that's like another theme in this movie is that like humans want to take control over like...
We refuse to understand that we are animals. We think we're God. We think we can train animals. And like OJ's dad says, what does he say? Not all animals can be trained, or not all horses can be broken, or whatever. His dad has, because he's a flashback of his dad saying that to him.
That is true, yeah.
But yeah, and
about that scene.
Right. And I also think it's because Jupe has this idea that he's special. And that's probably built into being a child star. I mean, hello.
It's also his ego.
Right. It's his ego, and like going through the experience of that experience clearly defined his life, and he obsesses about it. Clearly he's got all that stuff, collector stuff. He like refuses to tell people the truth. And I think he thinks this other creature has chosen me. It trusts me. We have a bond. We have a relationship, just like me and Gordy. And he didn't really I guess maybe understand the truth of what happened with him and Gordy, because Gordy was shot. Right. I mean, that part is so gruesome. He's this little boy sticking his little tiny hand out to fist pump Gordy. Bam. And blood gets squirt in his face. I mean, it's just, it's horrifying.
Well, the fact that we don't really see the chimpanzee's face it's kind of blurry because of the curtain, and that part like really is terrifying.
There's something kind of haunting about it.
Yeah, because it's like the last image that he sees.
Yeah, and that just made me think too, is like I was saying that gorillas are like kind of like going into the Stone Age or whatever. We ignore and refuse the fact that we are related to these animals. We see them as animals. And that's what I'm saying is like when you see a gorilla, or all animals, but when you see a gorilla at a zoo, it is like so fucked up. There's something about like you see them and they're this like massive, powerful person.
Zoos are just depressing.
They're so depressing.
Like I've never been to the one in LA.
Same. I didn't even really realize, because I've been on like that hike at like the abandoned zoo.
Which is where the haunted hayride is, right?
Oh my god, yeah. Which we're going to.
Yes. Shout out to Haunted Hayride.
Shout out to Haunted Hayride.
There's that character that was like the co-star.
Yes, the girl.
That's actually based on a true story, or inspired by the true story of Charla Nash. I have that in my notes. Who was on that Oprah interview where like a 200-pound chimp attacked her and ripped her face off. I remember hearing that story, and now seeing Nope, I'm like, okay, now I get like why this character existed in this movie.
Right. Yeah, because I will say like the one teaser I saw, it showed a clip of her and I could tell it was someone who had some sort of, disfigured,
yeah.
Like you could tell like, she has like a veil on and like a little sun hat. And I remember when I saw the trailer, I was like, I literally thought, I hope he didn't just put them in there.
No, the first trailer was really confusing.
Yeah.
You didn't know what was going on. And then they threw that shot of her.
Right.
We were just like, what? But, I remember hearing people's confusion with like why that character was in that movie.
Oh, interesting.
They were like, why did this person have a disfigured face? And I'm like, did you not pay attention? Did you not realize that this character is actually the co-star in that show?
She's wearing a sweater with her face on it, and again, she is like a big example of Hollywood and all that. She was disfigured, and she's now, because of the way society is, she's hiding her face.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like she was you could even say she's like cast away. Like
yeah.
And that was like the big thing. The first time I watched this was because I have a background in animal rights, animal liberation stuff. That was like the big thing, is I was just like, fuck yeah, Jordan Peele. Like, yes. Because that is, if you talk to anyone that's like in like the vegan or like animal rights scene, that's a big thing, is that we're going to, in a, however many years or decades or centuries, we will look back at how we treated animals and we'll be disgusted. Because it's bizarre, and it's cognitive dissonance. No one's watching factory farming. If you were, you'd be disgusted. You would not eat that. You'd be like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like, obvious. I'm not going to go on stage with the chimpanzee.
No.
I'm not going to go on stage with the fucking horse. But let's talk about Jupe, because I think there's a lot to talk about with him.
Yeah, he's definitely got a lot of layers. Again, people did not understand why his character existed and why like the whole Gordy scene was like important. I feel like we don't need to reiterate the theme of the movie, but
so Jupe was this actor who kind of, when he was a kid, kind of came to fame quick from what it sounded like, then had this horrific experience. The show was canceled. Who knows if he went on to do other things after that. But now as an adult, he has created Jupiter's Claim. It's this like little western town, and it's his. Quite literally is his claim. And you could argue that was that whole idea was kind of like the first big chase in having power, money, control, and in California and like that whole western frontier. People traveled across. People like left their families who you like couldn't communicate with. Like people came to California for gold.
Well, it's also a layer to like the theme too, is that like power and greed, like his character. The fact that it also like takes place on this like western theme park Western movies were like
That's like early Hollywood cinema.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of connects to that.
Yeah, it kind of makes it like full circle.
Yeah, it's like a circle.
It starts and then it ends in the same place.
Oh, I wanted to talk about like the set of Jupiter's Claim because I got to be on it.
Oh yeah,
for Halloween Horror Nights.
You lucky bitch.
I know. I was like, ooh, this is so exciting because like I've always wanted to be on.
I always wanted to be at Jupiter's Claim.
I wish I saw it in the daytime when it wasn't like Halloween Horror Nights because it was kind of confusing with all the
they have like
the spooky
ghosts
people.
No!
All the spooky people were coming out.
So, were they dressed like cowboys?
Some of them were dressed like zombies.
Nope.
And then there was like people
no.
people dressed up like the characters from Us. The red jumpsuits because it was Jordan Peele's like experience.
Yeah,
because it was like Us and Nope, but then they threw in like the zombies, which I think they were supposed to be.
They didn't have any like Get Out stuff.
I think they were. No, I think the zombies were supposed to be like the patrons of the theme park that were just attacked by. Because they even have the sound effect of Jean Jacket like hovering.
Ooh.
Like when you hear that sound, all of the characters from Us,
they
they react to it and they're like,
okay, that sounds really scary.
I mean, it's cool, but like being in the moment, I was too fascinated with being on the set, so I wasn't scared.
You're like geeking out.
I know. I was like, filming everything, and then like all the spooky people were just like making those noises like they were doing in Us, and I was like, okay, moving on. you're in my shot right now.
You're like, can you shh?
Yeah, so that was like really fun, and hopefully they bring it back next year, or if you can make it out this year, like definitely check out the Terror Tram.
So last time I was at Universal, I was on mushrooms.
Oh my god!
With a friend, and we got right when we get there, we were already, kind of getting goofy.
Oh my god!
And these two guys are like, "Hey, do you want to take a picture with ET?" Did I tell you about this? Oh my god! So we're like, we're just like laugh, because you just fucking laugh. We're like, okay, sure. And then they hand us this like 10-inch ET stuffed animal, and they take a picture. We spend the rest of the day just having like the best time ever, going on like 2 rides, but somehow having like the best time. Well, okay, so then later on, I think I was telling a mutual friend, we'll call, or our mutual friend, his name is Walter. I was like telling Walter about it, and then I showed them pictures, and they're like, I think these guys were just fucking with you. It's like a doll they probably won in like a vending machine or something. And we're like, oh, it's so, and like I'll show you the picture's so fucking funny.
That's funny.
And we were like in the parking structure.
You're probably like on YouTube somewhere.
Dude. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
It was probably like a skit and like someone was like, let's film these girls.
Oh my god. Anyway. Speaking of aliens.
The
thing about Nope is, and I can't say this to people who haven't seen it because I think it's a dead giveaway, but it's our new Jaws, because it is a story of a small team working to quote unquote defeat whatever this other being. Their main goal is to get the Oprah shot because they're financially drained. OJ has been selling the horses to Jupe. He actually, wants to talk to Jupe about a buyback plan. And Jupe's like, kind of obviously, he's like, sure. But that's not going to happen because he is using these horses to bait and feed or whatever Jean Jacket, which is so fucked up.
I know.
And that's the other thing I really liked about the movie. And again, it's like one of those things I like forget, but everything's broken up by chapters and it's the name of the horse.
Not all of them.
Well, okay, Gordy, but like Clover, Ghost, Lucky, Gordy. Is Gordy the last one or is Lucky the last one?
Jean Jacket was the last
one.
Oh,
Jean Jacket. Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. And it's just like a little, it wasn't distracting or anything, but whenever I watched it, I'm like, oh, I like that.
I know.
Yeah, so yeah, the whole Jaws thing, and it felt really whole in that way. It felt like a really well-crafted, cared-for film where someone really wanted to tell like a story that they've really planned out, and that's something that we miss a lot in like horror, especially like big Hollywood pictures. I think we're getting it back. Like in the last decade, it's definitely been coming back, and it just felt Spielberg in that way. I mean, so that was one of the things I had heard is some of the criticisms, which blows my mind that anyone. But the big thing about the movie is the twist that this is not a ship. And I think OJ identifying that right away, like, it doesn't move like a ship. I think immediately he can tell, like, this is moving like a animal.
Yeah.
And his respect for it, because he has a different relationship with animals than like Hollywood does and most people, because he has trained them. He works alongside of them. He knows what they need, or, you know, whatever. And that was like, to get into another thing about the film. Again, I don't know how intentional this stuff was, but it's what I saw. And I think so the horse, the man turns that, is it a light meter or what is that? It's
it's a light meter.
It's some sort of light meter. It's like a big orb. And when he turns it, it's a reflection. And so the horse is seeing its own face, and
it freaks out.
Freaks out because not typically, but quite often, different animals, species, when they are at direct eye contact, it is challenging. No. It means like, let's go outside. The way a camera works is the same way our eyes work. Mirror, light.
Yep.
So there's so much in the movie. You can't look Jean Jacket in the eye or whatever. Yeah. That's like what kind of sets Jean Jacket off, like, ooh, I'm gonna eat you, I'm gonna suck you up, squish you, and spit out your pollution, which again kind of says a lot, because like, what animal, like, you would maybe spit out bones, right? Like an owl pellet or something, like, but Jean Jacket's like, oh, I gotta spit out this trash.
Totally. I can't eat this shit.
That's what we do to the earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Just leave our shit everywhere. Because we don't care. We think we're God. Like, we think, like, it doesn't matter. We're top dog. What our shit matters. Like, there's so much of that in that film. Like, every time I watch it, it's like, wow. And the TMZ guy just having a complete helmet.
That it's like a reflection. Yeah. The green box that, like, Jean Jacket is, pretty much is the eye.
It's not its mouth? Or is this mouth and eye the same thing?
No, it's not the mouth.
That whole thing it does is like very, like, you ever seen when birds do like mating dances and stuff?
Yeah. Or I was thinking in Jurassic Park.
Oh, right. Yeah. That like frail
defense
lizard
mechanism. Maybe that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, it's like when because well, actually you do it to prey. You're like hypnotizing them.
Yeah.
And that too, like, just everything about Jean Jacket feels unnatural. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so that's the parts that makes me think like, yeah, maybe Jean Jacket's from somewhere else. So their family history, the whole thing is that their great grandfather was the jockey on like the first piece of film with it's like just a jockey, and the jockey was a black man, like, on a horse. Unnamed, didn't get fame, forgotten. That's kind of like how most of American history is. Like, we weren't taught about
Black history.
Yeah, we weren't taught
in cinema and anything.
We weren't talked to about. I believe if I'm not mistaken, a black woman is who invented it was like the tampon or the pad, which is revolutionary, and like a lot of things like that. Like, there is definitely just this like, huge hole. Anyone we learn about was like a man, and 99% of the time white. That's a great example. Well, like, so that's how their family has started. And at the end of the film, we see OJ on the horse and standing in the archway. It's kind of smoky. And you had brought this up. I didn't even consider it, but you had brought this up that, you know, is he alive?
Yeah.
Or is she seeing what she wants to see? And I was like, oh, I think he's alive. That's because I'm like hopeful.
And I was like, he could be dead.
Logically, he would be dead. And the thing about him being on that horse and being dead, he will be forgotten, just like his great grandfather was. So that's, I think you're right. I think he is dead, which fucking sucks.
Yeah, we see Keke Palmer's character seeing this. It's like her trauma haunting her. This is like her memory of her brother, and now she's got this photo of Jean Jacket to prove.
And it was all that's like just hitting me right now.
For fame.
Damn, that's so devastating.
All this work just to get, that.
And that's in my brain
cost people's lives.
Yes.
And that includes her brother.
And they lost sight of like reality. You're fucking with a giant creature that can suck you up.
Yeah.
When I watch the movie, I think they're stopping the creature from doing harm. Like, that's what I'm thinking, right? And that's another thing too, is like Jean Jacket's role. Jean Jacket is not doing anything wrong. Your initial reaction is like, this is a problem that has to be stopped. Because I'm thinking, well, I'm introduced to this by it killing his father, and then it's like something eating horses or whatever, scaring the shit out of horses. We hear horses scream, which is Jane Jack is just like trying to survive. They're just eating and they're hiding, and now they're being challenged. And yeah, it's like the whole thing is, instead of like the family being like, oh, we want to avenge our father, it's like, dude, let's get this image. It's gonna be this Oprah shot. Oh, that's another point I think we could talk about. They want to get this Oprah shot. They want the money and the fame.
Yeah.
They all die except for Keke.
Angel is still alive.
Right, Angel is, thank God.
He gets to be in the sequel.
Keke gets the picture, but the tragic thing about that, watching the third time, realizing that all these news cameras are nearby, I'm like, more than likely they got some shots from a distance.
Yeah.
And she's not gonna, I mean, hopefully she gets fame and fortune or whatever, but so the thing about Oprah and calling it the Oprah shot, she is a anomaly. If you think about it, in Hollywood, she is a Black woman who became one of the richest people in America, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or at least in entertainment. She had a horrible childhood. Like, do you know anything about her childhood?
Yeah.
Her childhood and everything, she was not set up to have success.
Yeah.
And certainly not the type of success she got. But she fucking did her thing. She worked for it and she got it. But most people, I'm sure you could say like 99.999% of people are not going to be Oprah. So there's something special about Oprah, right?
Yeah.
She is unique. Like, she's that's kind of like a once... She broke the glass ceiling, so to speak. Yeah. She is like otherworldly, really.
She has like an empire.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, she has a whole network, magazines. She's a pioneer. We still, especially as Americans, persistently chase more. And that's whether it's fame or money. Like, we're never satisfied. We're like hungry for more.
Yeah.
I'm sure actually this is probably, I think it's safe to say this. Most people are living beyond their means. And then we have the issue of our pay wage versus our cost of living. Yeah. But especially with Hollywood and everything, people will line up, like in our area, there are stores that will do drops. And people will line up and wait in line to buy a pair of shoes or whatever, and then resell it for more. I guess if you're down to do that, cool. But like, there is this thing about like, I want this limited edition thing.
People do that with like MacBooks or not MacBooks, like iPhones. Like the new iPhones. And they'll like sell it for like more than it is because they want to profit off of it.
Unlocked iPhone.
Ugh, God.
It's in a cloud. It's in a cloud.
OJ! It's in the cloud!
Yeah, nah.
Run, OJ! Run!
What did you think of the score?
Score is great. It's not like the type of score that like outshines.
Like, it doesn't stand out.
No, it just, like you can watch a film and sometimes the score kind of sticks with you more than the movie did. Like, it's really good, but I think the Sunglasses at Night and like the slowdown of that song was my favorite music element.
Oh yeah, I was hearing that song on TikTok a lot. Like, it was being used. But Michael Abels, he was the composer on.
What else has he composed?
He did Get Out and Us.
Oh, okay.
So
the music and score of Us, I enjoyed more than that movie.
But I still love.
It's still really good.
Yeah, it's still really good. Especially like the part when like it starts to rain blood on the house. Right. It's like ding 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 ding. Kind of like the sound of like the metal falling. And I love that. It's very Hitchcock.
And that whole scene, like the visuals, everything very... I will say, I think Get Out is like his very Hitchcockian one, because it has so many like voyeuristic type shots, which is when like the camera feels like someone watching. This was his Spielberg.
Yes.
This was 100% his Spielberg. This is the modern day Jaws.
Yep.
Like, this completely changes how you will view the sky. Now you're going to be scared there's fucking beasts in the sky.
No, for real. Like, people look at clouds and they'll never look at it the same. Because you'd be like, jean jacket, is that you?
Right. And again, it falls into, they talk about bad miracles.
Yeah.
Right. Like, that's the thing in the movie. You know, like, you could even say, like, there's something about Jean Jacket when Jean Jacket is in their full form that kind of looks like how angels are actually described biblically. Angels are not humans with wings. Glowing white and angelic, as we say. They look like this massive multi-winged thing, one eyeball, like fucking scary. And that's why angels say, like, do not fear, like, do not fear me when they visit, you know, in stories and stuff. It's because, like, they're fucking scary. Getting back to the construction of Jean Jacket, I absolutely loved that their mouth, or whatever you want to call it, is a square.
Oh, the green box thing?
Yeah.
When it's like...
Yeah, which is also how the movie opens on the credits, which I
Yes! Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. But I did notice that, like, in the beginning of the movie. I was like, oh.
Yeah, you noticed it the first round. But what I think is so great about that is kind of like the one very, if you were going to say Jean Jacket was not of planet Earth, it's that. It's having the square-shaped mouth, because, like, everything is, we're just like, everything's round. You know, everything organic comes from, like, a round form.
So I think Jordan Peele, he, like, mentioned something about, like, the color green being, like, significant because of money.
Oh.
And, you know, because the underlying theme, there's, you know, greed, money, entertainment. The original title of the movie was going to be, like, Little Green Men or something.
Ooh, I love that.
But then, like, that would have made no sense.
People Eater. The original title was going to be Green Box.
Who was the cinematographer of this?
So he is, I think it's the same guy that Nolan's using now. Hoyt van Hoytema. He's Swiss, Dutch, Swedish. Hey.
Shout out to the Swiss.
Shout out to the Swiss. What up? He is a Libra. He is
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. He is Nolan's new, like, DP since Wally Fisher has gone on to be directing whatever else. So he did Interstellar, gorgeous. Dunkirk, also gorgeous. It looks like he may have done Her, which is also a gorgeous film. And Let the Right One In, the 2008 one, which they're doing a show. I don't know if you saw that. Either a show or a movie on, like, Showtime or something. So yeah, he's fucking good.
Yeah,
like, all his whole work is like, oh, and Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, never saw that one.
Never saw that either.
Yeah, so I mean, the reason why I say Nope is, like, my favorite movie is because, like, it every time I have watched, which again it's only been 3 times, but I have had a totally different experience. Every time I watch it, the movie feels shorter. Every time I watch it, I notice new things, especially about the different characters. But, like, that last time, it was like I was, like, catching so much about OJ. I love the conversation of animals. I love the conversation of UFOs, anything like that.
Clearly.
I mean, I love LA. I love the atmosphere.
I just love everything about this movie.
Yeah, and, like, the house.
I think you love it more than I do, but I love it.
I'm a little bit more generous.
Sure.
You're a little bit harder to please. I think because you're a diva. No, I was gonna say I think it's because you're deeper into the horror than I am.
Right.
And so I think, like, you just look at things a little bit differently than me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's probably a Sagittarius thing.
Yeah, I'm a little optimistic. But I also, like, Jaws is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, but Jaws is Nope.
It's different,
very similar.
But fucking Jaws changed the world. You tell me you don't ever think about going into the ocean, putting your foot in the ocean without thinking about fucking Jaws. Without thinking, oh my God, I hope there's not a shark.
This is why I don't, like, learn surfing, because I'm scared of sharks.
That's, like, one of my goals. Like, before I die, I need to learn how to surf, but it's fucking hard.
Gosh.
And that's the other issue is, like, I don't know, sharks, fuck.
I mean, we should go to, like, an indoor place that has the wave. We can do that. Oh, I was going to talk about the original cut of the film. Did you know it was, like, 3 hours long.
Oh, give me a harder bone.
I know,
man.
this is why I was like texting you. I'm like, I need a director's cut of like,
dude.
because like,
Has he ever had one? A director's cut?
No, when they were talking about like the original cut, they were talking about like the first cut. People are speculating that like Barbie Ferreira's character had more screen time.
Interesting.
But you know, they cut her out because of the story. But maybe that was also before like the script was written too. Maybe like in an earlier draft, like her character was more involved. Like
yeah, I
her
wonder.
and Angel.
But like, to what extent is she the whistleblower?
The whistleblower?
Yeah.
To
I don't know. Like she's kind of like, you know, she was taking a look at what he's doing, kind of spying on him. She's curious.
Yeah, it's like, why was her character needed? If I would question any character, it's like her. And why was she in this movie?
She did have a great little comic relief.
She did, but also it was like, we all know you from Euphoria. Like,
okay, that's not true though. It's true for us,
yeah.
but it's not like, I don't think that plays into. If this were made 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, and they put fucking Miley Cyrus, it'd be like, this is Hannah Montana. You know what I mean? Barbie's at least, she's not household. Okay, so yeah, it's my favorite movie because I can't say one bad thing about it, honestly. There's nothing I would change. I mean, I'm super curious about a director's cut if we can ever see that, but I think everything about it is fucking masterful.
yeah.
Every shot, every character, every fucking spoken word, the sound, the whole story, everything. And I have heard people say, Jordan Peele failed to make the big summer movie. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. For one, that's not true. He did.
People went out to see it.
For two, think about why you're saying that. Really.
Yeah.
Think about why the fuck you're saying that.
I mean, Jordan Peele's intention was to create a spectacle that would make people want to go see it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what he did. He was like, this movie is actually about you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Everyone on TikTok and
this
Instagram.
is about you. I'm like, no, you failed to connect with it.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, it's hard to really say any film. It is a miracle. It's a fucking miracle when a film gets made.
Yeah.
I mean, really, this is something that more than most films that are made do not make the money back.
Yep.
Hollywood, it's a little bit different, but still, it's a difficult game. Everyone working on set is like being overworked.
Burnt out. Yeah.
Burnt the fuck out. They don't really get to have a life outside of that.
Yeah, because we both worked on movie sets, so.
And you know what? Not for me. I need routine.
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
Okay.
Nope. 10 out of 10. No, like 1,500 out of 10. Fantastic. Go see it. It's amazing. Avoid jaded people who review it.
Final thoughts for me about this movie is keep an open mind. It is not something that you've seen before, and it's an experience. Don't have exceeded expectations when watching it, because it'll feel different.
Jordan Peele always gives you original and unexpected.
Definitely. And I can't wait to see what Jordan Peele comes up with next.
I know.
And it's probably going to be about the Me Too movement.
Oh, it just, well.
No, I mean,
that's what Barbarian did.
We'll talk about that next time.
I know. I'm like, what could Jordan? I'm like, I hope it's like an underwater thing. Or I bet it could be. I bet it's going to be like tech related.
Maybe.
Okay, great.
And
so
on that note,
that's our first episode. Thanks for listening. We're so appreciative. We know that millions of you have been waiting for this moment, and it's here.
And if you like this, like, keep listening
and engage with us, because in all honesty, I want to hear what you think. I want to hear what Easter eggs you saw. Like, share. And if you didn't like something, like, I think we should all try to have some respect.
Yes. So, Brittany, where can we find you?
I am only on Instagram, where I review books, and I do like movie dumps once a month. humble_book_reviews.
Cool.
And Ricky, where might we find you?
You can find me at somecallme_Ricky on Instagram and TikTok.
Follow us at Paper Screen Podcast on Instagram, and don't forget to smash that like button. Pound that bell. Just kidding. No, really though, follow us on Paper Screen Podcast on Instagram and engage with us.
Sweet.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.